So what's your real English level? It's a question we all ask ourselves, right? But the answer isn't just about how many words you know. What if I told you that a few specific grammar points could act like a compass, pointing you exactly to where you are right now? Well, let's follow that compass and see where it leads.
Where do you see yourself on this spectrum? Beginner, intermediate, or advanced? You know, we're going to break down what each of these levels really means, and not just by vocabulary, but by the actual grammar that unlocks that next stage of fluency. This is all about finding your place on the map so you know exactly which direction to head next.
It's so tempting to just focus on learning more and more words, isn't it? But think of it this way. Vocabulary gives you all the parts of the car. But grammar, well, grammar is the engine that actually makes the whole thing go. Without that engine, you're not really going anywhere. True fluency? It's built on that grammatical engine.
Okay, first stop, the beginner foundation. Now, this isn't just about learning the absolute basics, it's about mastering the things that are completely non-negotiable in English. If you get these right, you're building on solid rock, but if you get them wrong, everything else you build on top can feel a little shaky.
All right, here is a classic test. How do you fill in this blank? He goes to work, bus. Is it in or is it by? This tiny little word is actually a massive clue about a speaker's level. So what's the answer? It's by bus. Let's take a look at why.
And here's the rule that trips so many people up, but it's actually really simple. When you're talking about a general way of getting somewhere, the word is always by. You know, by bus, by train, by car. You only use other words like in or on when you're talking about a specific vehicle. Nailing this one rule is a huge step forward.
So beyond those little prepositions, the beginner foundation is really built on this powerful structure. Subject, verb, object. Simple enough. But there's a tiny detail that often gets missed. Articles. It's never, he has car. It's always, he has a car. It seems so small, right? But mastering that one little word instantly makes your English sound way more natural.
So here's your beginner checklist. Think about your own speech for a second. Do you always remember to add that S for the third person, like he lives? Are don't and doesn't totally automatic for you? What about those prepositions and articles we just talked about? And can you easily use this and that? If you can tick all these boxes, then congrats. Your foundation is rock solid.
All right, with that foundation in place, it is time to cross the intermediate bridge. And this is a huge leap. This is where you go from just stating simple facts to actually expressing complex ideas with real nuance. This is where things get interesting.
Okay, now for a question that stumps so many learners. He has been to New York versus he has gone to New York. They sound almost the same, but their meanings are worlds apart. Seriously, understanding this one little difference is a true sign that you've crossed over to the intermediate level.
Let's break this down. Been to is a round trip. You went, you saw, you came back. You've got the t-shirt and the memories. But gone to, well, that's a one-way ticket, at least for now. The person went and they're still there. So if someone has gone to New York, don't ask them about their trip. They're still on it. That's the crucial difference. Another huge tell for the intermediate level is how you talk about time. Think about it. If you know the exact time something happened, like last night, you use the simple past. Where did you go? But if the time is kind of vague or just not important, you shift to the present perfect. Have you finished? Mastering that shift shows you really get how English speakers think about time.
So, what's on the intermediate checklist? Well, it's mastering that tense distinction we just talked about. It's knowing your been from your gone. It's also about getting comfortable with word pairs that just sound right together, like ask for a refund. And it's about handling tricky structures like I am used to. If this stuff is starting to feel like second nature, then you are firmly in the intermediate zone.
And now we get to the final level, the advanced polish. This is where things get really cool. It's not just about being correct anymore. It's about being elegant, it's about being efficient, and expressing yourself with a kind of precision that shows true mastery of the language.
Check this out. It's called an inverted conditional. So instead of a typical if I had studied, an advanced speaker might flip it around to had I studied. The meaning is exactly the same, but can you hear that difference? It instantly sounds more formal, more sophisticated. It's a subtle change, but wow, it has a huge impact.
Or how about this one? The perfect gerund. Yeah, it sounds complicated, right? But it's actually about being incredibly efficient. Instead of saying, after I spoke to Richard, I understood, you can say, having spoken to Richard, I understood. You see? It packs two actions into one smooth, elegant phrase. That is grammatical polish.
And finally, true advanced skill is all about flexibility. It's about seeing a word like strong and just knowing, instinctively, that you can turn it into a verb, strengthen, or taking domestic and molding it into the noun domesticity. This isn't just about memorization. It's a deep, intuitive feel for the actual architecture of the language itself.
So after mapping out this entire journey, from those first steps all the way to the final polish, the most important question is a personal one. What's your next step?
So we've walked through 3 clear stages. We started with the essential beginner foundation, making sure those core rules are locked in. Then we crossed the intermediate bridge, which was all about adding nuance and complexity. And finally, we added that advanced polish, using sophisticated structures for incredible precision.
Knowing your location on this map is the first step, and that's huge. But the real question is about your destination. Looking back at everything we just covered, what is the one grammar point that you are going to focus on next? Deciding on that single target, that's what will truly drive your progress forward.